All right, let's go here to Dominic in Mount Shasta, California right now. Hi, Dominic in Mount Shasta, you lucky dude. How you doing?
Hey, Christopher, how you doing? Let me paint you a picture here. By the way, I'm enjoying the show. I'm lying on a hammock strung between two big, huge pine trees, and I'm looking at the mountains and everything, and it's gorgeous, you know?
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
Anyway, the thing is that my friend Terry Lee had lent me a CD for my journey, so I was listening to that CD, and a very profound thought came across on that, which I thought you might be interested in commenting on. It's in line, of course, with the work, but I picked up on it, and the thought was that a belief system is just a thought you continue to hold on to.
Very good thought. A wonderful, wonderful sentiment, because that's what it is. The word belief connotates exactly what it is. It's just a belief. And we can believe anything we want with our free will. My point, even in this show and what I've said in recent, is there's nothing about this experience that we're having that we believe to have value that really does. But we can hold on to the idea that this relationship has value, or this thing has value, this education has value. We can hold on to it all we want. It still doesn't make it a real thing. But at the moment we're believing it, at the time we're emotionally connected to the idea or the belief, it is real to us. It is part of our current reality. So there's two sides of the coin there. Now, when I talk about real truth, I'm talking about things as they really are in our first state as human beings. And none of this that we're experiencing, this is all like going to a movie and seeing things that people invented in their mind, special effects and things like that. All part of the belief that we are actually real human beings, and this is our only reality. That, too, is a belief. But I know I went off on what you just said was profound. That's all a belief is.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought about that a lot this afternoon as I was driving and just lying here thinking about that. I thought, that's really all religion is. It's just, it's just basically a thought that we continue to hold on to,
Yeah, it's a way that we want to think that brings value to ourselves and to our lives. Nobody wants to consider that the things that we're going through in this life that mean nothing. No one wants to think that the things that they waste their time on, whether it's their job or their education or the relationships that they're having, they don't want to think that that's useless. It's the same reason why, as an LDS person, you were taught, it was forced in your head that families are eternal, because the only value they have is their family relationships. And they're not real. Their founder, Joseph Smith, never said that the family is eternal. The Book of Mormon doesn't say anything about it. But to hold on to something that's tangible to them, something in this life that means something to them as they're going and educating themselves and going to work every day, they created this value system called the eternal family that isn't real. It's not real. It never has been. And all one has to do to really know what's real is to look at a little child. What's real to them? What's real to that little child? All that little child cares about is interacting with its environment. That's why little kids crawl around, put things in their mouth. It's all about hearing, seeing, smelling, touching, tasting, all about the experience within the environment. It's the adults, it's the people that believe in something that force these belief systems and ideas on the little kids and turn them into them. Adults that believe in all kinds of things and hold on to these useless, valueless things that they stressed out all of their life trying to perfect and trying to go after or pursue. And that's sad. That's what we do. But hey, that's part of life. But part of this message, of course, is to buck that trend and help people to see the uselessness, yet the value in all of our current experiences in this life. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm jealous of you sitting there between two trees. Are you in the mountains or what?
In the mountains, looking at a full moon almost, and well, all I can say is life is good, you know.
Well, good for you. Gosh darn it! I'm telling you right here, I'm in Salt Lake Valley in an RV, and there's smoke just permeating all over because of the wildfires here.
Yeah. Well, I escaped that, but you know, this work has freed me up. I'm free to think. I'm free to be myself, and you know, I actually enjoy being myself. For you know, over the last couple of years since I found this, it's been really profound.
Can you share with us a little bit? I know Dominic's story, his personal story, for those of you who don't know him, but share with us. I know that Dominic was very into LDS Church. His children were into it. His ex-wife. Has anything changed with the way that your children are treating you now? Because I know they wouldn't have anything basically to do with you. Has anything changed? Has any of them started to soften up a bit and accept their dad, Dominic, as maybe somebody who's a good person, not someone who's deceived by the devil?
Well, the only one is my second oldest boy, who's married and has two children. The newest child is only 2 weeks old. Well, actually 3 weeks old, and that's part of my I have a week off, and I'm taking the journey, long journey, just taking time out to chill and stuff. But I'm actually on my way up to visit with him and his wife. So he's really the only one that is somewhat open to conversing with me and accepting me. But the others, well, they have a long ways to go yet. A lot of judgment there, you know.
Sure. Well, rest assured this. You have grandkids from those that reject you?
Well, I'm looking forward to getting to meet the two grandkids, you know. My second oldest boy, they live up in Seattle, so I'm looking forward to spending a couple of days with them here in the next couple of days. But, you know, the thing is that those grandkids, well, they won't have any judgments, and it'll be nice to be able to hold them on my lap and play with them and have a bit of fun and be able to look at them from the perspective that they're equal to myself as eternal human beings, you know.
Hey, you stay, Dominic, stay true to yourself, and I guarantee you that those grandkids in the next generation, they're going to see you a whole different way than what your children do, the ones who reject you. You'll see. And even if your kids keep your grandkids from you and say, we don't want them around him, he'll influence them to leave the church or leave religion or whatever, which you won't, but that's what they think. Those kids one day, they're going to say, hey, my grandpa Dominic, he was a pretty cool guy. And I want to find out more about what he's like. You watch. You mark my words. It's coming for you.
We'll look forward to that time, you know. But in the meantime, you know, I'm actually very much at peace. I allow them to be who they are, and I realize that that's a very valuable experience for them to be going through currently. And I respect that, because I came out of a situation over a number of years, you know, prior to finding this work, where I was in a lot of judgment, and then finding this work came out of judgment. And you know, to be able to not have judgment brings a tremendous amount of peace and acceptance, just allowing things to just be, you know.
Exactly, man. I couldn't have said it better myself. You're an example of that, Dominic. Anybody that's around you would know, hey, there's a guy who's just enjoying life and he's at peace. And not being judgmental of anybody else, it relieves stress. And there are times because of this work and how it's centered and came from the problems that the LDS Church and that religion causes to our world. There's times where it seems that I'm negative towards that religion and church. It's not that at all. Just like you said, it's a great experience for those people. But if a person learns not to judge them and to realize, especially those of you who are listening, most of you who listen to this show, you were once just like them. And would you want to have been judged at that time? They could very well someday be in your situation and think just like you do. And that eliminates stress, being a non-judgmental person, and creates a peace in your life that is well-deserved for a human being pursuing happiness. But since I'm jealous of you sitting up there in a hammock in nature, breathing in that nice air and looking at the moon coming up, I'm going to say good night to you, Dominic. Darn you.
Well, we love, appreciate, and respect you, man, and, keep up the great work, and we continue to tune in and enjoy all of the questions that other folks ask,
Perfect. Thanks, Dominic. Call anytime. Any questions you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Good man.